Nyctography, Episode 21, The Mural Nobody Can Read, the Mount Chiliad Mystery. When Grand Theft Auto V released in September 20, players exploring its fictional mountain, Mount Chiliad, found something unusual inside a cable car station near the summit. A large painted mural on the wall, depicting the mountain itself, surrounded by strange symbols. An eye, a spaceship, a cracked egg, a man with something strapped to his back. Lines connecting different points like a puzzle missing its instructions. It should have been a small, forgettable detail in a game full of them. Instead, it became what many in the gaming world consider the single longest-running unsolved mystery in video game history. Within weeks of the game's release, players noticed the symbols seemed to correspond to real locations and events elsewhere in the game world. One symbol, resembling a UFO, seemed connected to actual, functioning, unidentified flying objects hidden in the game. One over a military base, one in a rural town, one hovering above the very mountain the mural was painted on, visible only under very specific conditions. Community investigators discovered that if a player fully completed the game's story to 100%, a UFO would appear above Mount Chiliad during a thunderstorm at night. A genuinely real, confirmed secret deliberately built by Rockstar's developers. But that was never the whole mystery, and this is where things get complicated. The mural contained more symbols than the confirmed UFO explained. A jetpack-wearing figure, a cracked egg, connecting lines between characters that seemed to track relationships between the game's three protagonists. A dedicated community formed almost immediately, eventually consolidating around a subreddit called r/Chiliad Mystery, whose members greeted each other with the word Kiflam, a phrase borrowed from a fictional cult inside the game itself, adopted half ironically, half sincerely as their own shared identity. For over a decade, that community did something genuinely remarkable. They treated a video game Easter egg with the rigor of an actual unsolved investigation. They cataloged strange radio broadcasts referencing a meteor striking the game's city. They found Morse code hidden in game files. They discovered a secret in-game phone number that, when called, triggered an explosion above the player's head. They tracked coordinate patterns, color theories, numerology, anything that might connect back to that original mural. In 2017, a group calling itself the Chiliad Mystery Gurus announced they'd finally cracked it, after triggering a previously hidden mission involving retrieving alien eggs from a crashed spaceship. It generated genuine excitement. And then, like every previous claimed solution before it, it failed to actually explain every symbol on the wall. The jetpack figure in particular has never been definitively tied to anything. By 2020, a widely circulated theory proposed something simpler and, in its own way, sadder. That the three symbols in the mural, the eye, the egg, and the jetpack figure, actually represented the game's three playable protagonists themselves. Michael, isolated from his family, represented by the all-seeing eye. Franklin, on the edge of a new beginning, represented by the cracked egg. Trevor, a former pilot, represented by the jetpack. Under this theory, the mural was never a treasure map to a hidden reward at all. It was thematic, an artistic reflection on the story players had already played through, not a puzzle with a prize waiting at the end. That theory remains popular, but it's never been officially confirmed either, and plenty of long-time investigators reject it outright, pointing out it doesn't explain the coordinate-like markings, the connecting lines, or why Rockstar would bury thematic commentary this deep, and this cryptically for players to stumble onto by accident. And then in 2025 and 2026, the mystery got stranger rather than closer to resolved. A separate, newly discovered puzzle inside Red Dead Redemption 2, nicknamed the Spider Dream Mystery by the community, appears to directly mirror unexplained visual assets that have existed around Mount Chiliad since 2013. Specific spider webs, placed in specific locations that seem to connect thematically and visually across two completely different games, released 6 years apart. A former Rockstar quality assurance tester has publicly stated, They never expected players to actually uncover the original Spider Dream content at all, suggesting some of what's embedded in these games may not even be intended as a solvable puzzle so much as an artifact of Rockstar's own internal design process. Never meant to be found, let alone fully explained. That's given the community a new working theory, that the Mount Chiliad mystery was never confined to a single game. That Rockstar may have been quietly building a puzzle that spans multiple titles over more than a decade, waiting for players to eventually connect assets across entirely separate release cycles. Whether Grand Theft Auto 6 will continue that thread, extend it, or finally resolve it outright is something nobody outside Rockstar actually knows. And Rockstar itself has never issued a definitive official statement closing the case. 12 years in, the honest answer is this: parts of the mystery have real, confirmed solutions. Other parts remain genuinely, completely open. And a community that started with a strange painting on a fictional mountain has spent over a decade building something that looks, from the outside, a lot like real investigative work, chasing an answer that may not fully exist yet, in a game that may not be finished telling its story. Next time, another file, another name worth remembering.